So I'm happy to introduce Taisha Gage. She's currently the Community Relations Director for 4C's, Sonoma County. In her current endeavor, she engages with the community by sharing information about the Community Child Care Council's mission to provide access to quality child care and early education in Sonoma County through direct advocacy, service, and empowerment. She is instrumental in their outreach programs, charity events, promotion, and marketing. Prior to 4C's, she served as a marketing and event coordinator for Redwood Hill Farm. There, she managed trade shows, festivals, in-store events, and content for their social media. Previously, she was also an executive administrative special project coordinator at Francis Ford Coppola. I am happy to have her join us this evening to share all that 4C's has to offer. Thank you for being a member and of service to our community.
Thank you guys so much for having me, and I appreciate that wonderful introduction. So yes, I am Taisha Gage. I am officially part of the NAACP, and I'm very proud of my membership. And I felt like this was a great way in my new role to kind of help explain what 4C's is all about in Sonoma County. We have been around for over 50 years. Some of you may be familiar with some of our services or all of our services, or you've never heard of us before. So I just wanted to kind of take this opportunity to speak about 4C's as a whole, answer any questions that you may have, and just let you know what it is that we do and how we can best serve our community. So I have a little presentation. So here we go. All right, so 4C's, we have been around since 1972. So today we're going to talk about what the 4C's is all about. The Community Child Care Council is the name. Every major city and town basically has a 4C's. We're a state-funded agency to help families with early childhood education and child care services. I'll let you know a little bit about some of our different departments and how we do community outreach, and then to let you know we are currently hiring, so there's some opportunities available as well. So a little bit about 4C's. Starting in the 70s, we started here in Santa Rosa. It was a group of mostly women who were trying to figure out a way to get childcare in this childcare desert that we have, right? There were few childcare providers back then. It's still a challenge that we face now, but I think since COVID, many employers and many families recognize that childcare is not just women's work, right? It's the community's work, and the community is impacted when childcare is or isn't available. In the 80s, we got a little bit more money. We created our first preschool. We have 11 in total, starting through Petaluma all the way up to Cloverdale. They're state-funded preschools. Those teachers receive the highest training. We work with the state to come up with the education, and then we make sure that all of those things are provided online for parents to see what their kids are working on at our state preschools. In the 90s to 2000s, we added some of our other programs like food service. For those that are providers in home, we provide stipends and finances to help you pay for the food that you feed the kids that are participating in your child care program, right? So since then, we've continued to grow. In 2022, we've grown a ton. Our business is expanding. Dollars to come in to support childcare have expanded. And I think that has a lot to do with COVID. So we've been really beneficial in making the best use of our services and the money that we've been provided because of challenges like COVID to continue to provide more childcare and to get more families eligible for the childcare that we do serve or do. So our mission is to provide access to quality childcare through early education in Sonoma County through advocacy, direct service, and empowerment. We have an event that we've been holding for the last 10 years called Champions of Children. And each year we look to the community to nominate people who have been exceptional in their childcare areas, whether it's strengthening families or providing protective services for families, nutrition services for families. So we're always looking for community advocates to shine a light on as well that help us with our advocacy message. Our vision is a thriving community where every child, family, and employer has access to quality childcare and early education. The fact is that a lot of families struggle with the cost associated with preschool. Now we have low cost to no cost preschool with TK, but that still leaves a void for those 2 to 3 year olds, right? So we really look to service families with children of that age. But honestly, our services are wraparound services. We help families find funding for childcare from ages 0 all the way through the age of 13. This is actually a picture, the women that you see here in this photo, they received additional funding from one of our local charities, and they were able to purchase like $60,000 worth of, or yeah, something crazy like that, childcare facilities for like all these pom-poms and popsicle sticks and art supplies and art materials. Those materials went out to every childcare provider, whether those childcare providers had children just in their home that are 3 or 4 kids or 10 kids in their home, whether they were large schools, we donated to the Boys and Girls Club, Montessori schools. So schools from all over Sonoma County benefited from the grant that we received to buy art supplies and art materials, because that's one of those things that doesn't get funded enough. So it's important for our team to pick a way to spend that money and to utilize it that was going to be beneficial for multiple children across various sites. And then our values, it's community, inclusivity, education, advocacy, collaboration, respect, and opportunity. So when we talk about paying for childcare and how expensive it is, I just wanted to show you how much things have changed. We have recently increased our numbers as far as, or not we, the state, I should say. The state has recently recognized it is expensive to live here. When you're looking at childcare, some of that is people's rent. And then you're adding rent on top of childcare, on top of groceries, on top of just our basic needs. So we really do have some really great rates that if you have, let's say, a family of 4, if you make a little under $8,000 a month, you qualify to get a huge portion of your childcare paid for, right? But the process to apply for it can be a little arduous. We understand that we require a lot of information, but our goal is to make it as easy for people applying for these services as possible. We provide them with a whole department that will walk them through the application process, what paperwork they need, what type of documents that are going to be required for them to get into this. And I know that this portion can be a stopgap for our company. So I just wanted to let people know a little bit more about how much money you can truly make in Sonoma County and still qualify for these lower rates. So if you're looking at our tuition, we provide lots of different services at our different locations, from full day to BART day to extended care. So there's a lot of different ways for families to find an opportunity to have care provided for children. And then, like I said earlier, we are hiring. So I'll tell you a little bit about some of the departments that we have. We have an early education services department. This department primarily works with helping families receive childcare preschool services. Parents are given a high quality preschool experience for their children to build stronger future selves. Our alternative payment program serves over 1,500 children under the age of 13. So we service a lot of families in Sonoma County. These programs support families to be able to work, attend schools, have a safe environment for their children when they're trying to figure out employment and how to get it ahead in their lives. So our services can be provided for families, whether you're going back to school full-time, whether you work part-time, whether you work full-time. There's all different kinds of ways to help adapt how we can provide you with funding and vouchers to pay for care based on your family's needs. Then we also have a resource and referral department. This department, I think, is actually one of the coolest departments that we have, and one of like the unsung heroes of 4C's. So our resource and referral program, they maintain a list of who provides childcare in Sonoma County, whether those people work through 4C's or are affiliated through 4C's. They also provide trainings for child care providers in the community. So if you are interested in providing child care in your home or becoming a child care provider or understanding how to go about that program, 4C's has created a program where we will help train you. We will help facilitate all the paperwork that you need to do. We will give you trauma-informed training so you can help with community members who face different challenges on your way up to becoming a child care provider. Whether you live in an apartment or a home, whether you live in low-income housing or traditional housing, or you have a setting in a church or within a group setting, we can help you figure out how to create childcare in that facility. That is the goal, right? It's very hard to find a bunch of different buildings and businesses, but a lot of people have homes in which they can provide these services in. So Resource from Referral can help you with that. They provide the trainings to new providers that want to become a licensed child care provider. They also have a bridge program that supports the families and the caretakers with open CPS cases. So we want, again, those wraparound services that help families in various stages and challenges of their life. And then we have our child care food program that I spoke about briefly. It provides reimbursement for healthy foods to child care providers, and it provides training for child care providers. If you love food and nutrition, that's one of the departments that's also currently looking for to add to their team. It's a unique position. You help encourage the child care providers to provide really nutritious meals, right? So that's whole self-care when we're looking at that. And then we also work with the Santa Rosa Violence Prevention Program, early education outreach specialists. So this is what allows us to go out into the community to set up shop at these different events. We hand out books, we hand out information about applying to preschool or for the voucher program for childcare in general. We also engage with the community in that way. I feel personally in the role that I have, I don't see us interacting in a way that is as impactful with this area of our community as much as we can. So I also look for the members of this group to tell me, where can 4C's show up in a way that allows us to speak about what we do, find people who could benefit from our services, or just have general discussions about how to find care or childcare services for your family. So that is the gist of what we do at 4C's. There's much more to it, but I wanted to give you guys an overview and a highlight. So if you have questions, please feel free to raise your hand. I see, okay, I've got a couple here.
Yes. Thank you, Taisha, for the presentation. I'm going to wrap us up and move us. You can go ahead and move through the questions as they're popping in for you.
Okay,